Was the Garden of Eden real? Join me as we explore ancient myths, historical clues, and potential locations to uncover the truth behind this legendary paradise. Will we find answers? Subscribe and hit the notification bell to find out. So you're wondering about the Garden of Eden. Is it just a beautiful myth, a story to teach us right from wrong? Or is there a kernel of truth hidden within its ancient pages? For millennia, this story has captivated humanity, its imagery woven into our collective consciousness. Rivers of life, forbidden fruit, a serpent whispering temptation. It's a powerful narrative that resonates even today. The story itself is surprisingly sparse in detail. The Bible, our primary source, doesn't offer precise geographical coordinates. Instead, it paints a picture through symbolism, hinting at a paradise lost, a fall from grace, and the enduring consequences of our choices. It's this ambiguity that fuels the enduring mystery, allowing for countless interpretations and speculations about its possible location. You see, the narrative of Eden isn't just a religious tale. It's a foundational myth that has influenced art, literature, and philosophy for centuries. Think about it. The concept of paradise, of a perfect world, is a powerful archetype that transcends cultural and religious boundaries. The enduring power of Eden lies not just in its specific details, but in its universal themes of creation, temptation, and the search for meaning. Let's dive into the Genesis account itself. You've probably heard the story, but let's look at it with fresh eyes, focusing on the geographical details. The text describes 4 rivers flowing from Eden: Pishon, Gihon, Tigris, and Euphrates. The Euphrates is easily identifiable, still flowing today. This immediately grounds the story in a real, tangible location in the ancient Near East, suggesting a possible geographical basis for the Eden myth. The other rivers are trickier. The Pishon is described as circling the land of Havilah, known for its gold, bdellium, and onyx. Some scholars suggest this points towards a region in Arabia, while others point to areas further east. The Gihon, mentioned as flowing into Ethiopia, presents a similar challenge. The precise location of these rivers remains debated, fueling the ongoing quest to pinpoint Eden's location. But here's the thing. Even if we can't pinpoint the exact location of these rivers today, their mention within the Genesis narrative itself suggests a real-world basis for the story. The text isn't just a whimsical fantasy. It uses geographical markers that, though debated, point toward a specific region within the ancient Near East. It's this tangible connection that makes the search for Eden so compelling. So you're thinking about the Garden of Eden, right? Forget the literal location for a minute. Think about the story's deeper meaning. The forbidden fruit isn't just an apple. It represents the knowledge of good and evil, a pivotal moment in human understanding, a transition from innocent childlike existence to the complexities of adulthood, with its accompanying responsibility and consequences. It's about the choices we make and the weight of those choices. The serpent, often portrayed as purely evil, can also be seen as a symbol of temptation, representing the allure of forbidden knowledge and the seductive power of curiosity. It's a reminder that knowledge, while empowering, can also lead to suffering. Think about it. You're faced with a choice, a path less traveled, something that promises something more, but also carries risk. That's the essence of the serpent's role. The expulsion from Eden isn't just a punishment, it's a necessary step in humanity's journey. It's the beginning of our experience of the world outside of paradise, a world filled with both hardship and beauty, a world where we learn from our mistakes and strive for something better. It represents the growth and evolution that comes from facing challenges and accepting responsibility for our actions. It's your story, after all. So, the forbidden fruit represents knowledge, right? But where did this idea even come from? Well, let's travel back to Mesopotamia, the cradle of civilization. You'll find echoes of Eden in their myths. Think about the Epic of Gilgamesh, for instance. It features a paradise called Dilmun, a land of bliss and immortality, strikingly similar to the idyllic description of Eden. It's a place of pure, unadulterated beauty, a stark contrast to the harsh realities of the Mesopotamian world. In the ancient Sumerian texts, you'll discover other paradisiacal descriptions. These weren't just isolated stories. They reflect a deeply held belief in a perfect primordial world. These mythical paradises often feature magical trees bearing fruits of immortality, rivers of sweet water, and abundance beyond imagination. These elements resonate strongly with the imagery of Eden, suggesting a shared cultural heritage or perhaps a common origin for these narratives. The similarities aren't just coincidental. Mesopotamian mythology often presents a cyclical view of history, with periods of creation and destruction. Their paradises often represent a lost golden age, a time before chaos and suffering. This resonates with the biblical narrative of Eden's fall, suggesting a shared understanding of humanity's relationship with nature and its consequences. By comparing these stories, you can gain a deeper appreciation of the Eden myth and its enduring power. So, the Mesopotamians had their own versions of paradise, right? But understanding Eden requires understanding their cosmology. Imagine a flat earth, a dome-like sky, and a subterranean world. That's their basic framework. The gods lived above, in the heavens, and the underworld was a place of darkness and shadow. This layered world wasn't just a geographical model. It was a reflection of their social structure and beliefs. This understanding of the cosmos is fundamental to grasping the significance of Eden's location and its symbolic importance. Think about it. The rivers of Eden, the tree of life, the tree of knowledge, these weren't just random elements. They represented the vital forces of life and understanding within their worldview. The rivers, for instance, weren't just waterways. They symbolized the lifeblood of the earth, connecting the heavens, the earth, and the underworld. The trees, similarly, held immense symbolic power, representing both the potential for immortality and the consequences of choosing knowledge. This ancient Near Eastern cosmology wasn't just a map, it was a living narrative. It explained the origin of the world, the roles of the gods, and the human place within the cosmic order. Eden, therefore, wasn't just a geographical location. It was a microcosm of this entire worldview, a place where the divine and the earthly intersected, where the potential for both immortality and understanding resided. It's this understanding that unlocks the true meaning of the story. So you've got this picture of a Mesopotamian cosmos, pretty different from ours, huh? But early interpreters of the Genesis account didn't have that context. They looked at the story of Eden, literally, searching for a geographical location that matched the description. For centuries, people pointed to different places, convinced they'd found the lost paradise. Think about it. The rivers, the trees, the perfect climate. Early church fathers, for example, often placed Eden somewhere in the east, near the legendary sources of the great rivers. This wasn't just guesswork. They were working with the limited geographical knowledge available at the time, trying to reconcile scripture with the world they saw around them. Some placed it in Persia, others in India, still others in various parts of the Middle East. Each location had its advocates, each interpretation fueled by a desire to link the mythical with the real. The search wasn't just about geography. It was about finding a tangible link to a sacred past, a connection to humanity's origins. So let's talk about the most popular theory. Eden in the Fertile Crescent, specifically the Tigris-Euphrates region. You've probably heard this one before. It makes sense, right? Abundant water, rich soil, perfect for a paradise. But let's dig a little deeper. This area is known for its rivers, yes, but also for its unpredictable flooding. Imagine trying to cultivate a garden with that kind of constant threat hanging over you. The rivers themselves, while life-giving, could also be destructive. The region isn't exactly known for its consistent climate either. Think scorching summers and harsh winters. Could a paradise truly thrive under such conditions? That's the question we need to ask ourselves. It's more complicated than just lots of water equals Eden. Many scholars point out that the description of Eden in Genesis doesn't perfectly match the Tigris-Euphrates region. The four rivers mentioned, Pishon, Gihon, Tigris, and Euphrates, are difficult to pinpoint geographically. Some believe they're symbolic, representing the life-giving forces of nature, rather than literal rivers. Others suggest they could refer to tributaries, or ancient river systems that no longer exist. Right. So let's get specific. Many scholars point towards the Tigris-Euphrates region of modern-day Iraq as a prime candidate. Imagine lush river valleys, teeming with wildlife, the kind of paradise described in Genesis. Think about the potential for agriculture, the abundance of resources. It's easy to see why this area has been a focus of the Eden debate for centuries. But the search isn't limited to Iraq. Some researchers suggest looking further afield, towards the Zagros Mountains in Iran. These mountains boast a diverse range of ecosystems, from fertile foothills to high-altitude grasslands, all of which could have offered early humans a diverse and abundant environment. It's a different kind of paradise, less focused on rivers, but equally compelling. And then there's Turkey, the southeastern Anatolian region, with its rich history and diverse landscapes, also features in some theories. Think about the headwaters of the Tigris and Euphrates, the potential for abundant freshwater resources, and the surrounding fertile lands. It's a less discussed possibility, but one that deserves consideration given its geographical context. But hold on. You might be thinking, Iraq? Isn't that a bit landlocked? Well, that's where the Persian Gulf theory comes in. Imagine a time, thousands of years ago, when sea levels were significantly lower. What if the Fertile Crescent extended much further into the Gulf, creating a vast, lush coastal plain? A paradise, perhaps, watered by the Tigris and Euphrates, their deltas sprawling across a much larger area than today. This isn't just wild speculation, Geological evidence suggests that the coastline of the Persian Gulf has dramatically shifted over millennia. Submerged ruins and ancient riverbeds have been discovered, hinting at a landscape far different from what we see today. Could these underwater remnants be clues to a lost paradise? Could this submerged world hold the key to understanding the Garden of Eden? Think about it. A vast, fertile coastal plain, abundant freshwater resources, and a climate conducive to a thriving ecosystem. This picture perfectly aligns with the descriptions of Eden we find in ancient texts. The rivers, the trees, the abundance of life, all could have existed in this now submerged landscape. It's a compelling idea, isn't it? A paradise lost, now resting beneath the waves. But what if Eden wasn't nestled beside a shrinking gulf? Let's shift our gaze westward, to the fertile lands of Anatolia, modern-day Turkey. This region boasts a rich history, a tapestry woven with ancient civilizations and breathtaking landscapes. The Anatolian hypothesis suggests that the Garden of Eden could be located somewhere within this diverse geography, a place where the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, though geographically distant, are still symbolically relevant to the Eden narrative. Think about it. Anatolia possesses diverse ecosystems, from the coastal plains to the high plateaus. This variety could easily account for the descriptions of rivers, trees, and abundant life found in the Genesis account. Some researchers point to the southeastern region, near the confluence of several rivers, as a particularly compelling candidate. The area's rich biodiversity and fertile lands could have easily supported a thriving paradise. Of course, pinpointing a precise location is a monumental task. The descriptions in Genesis are symbolic, not necessarily literal maps, but the Anatolian hypothesis offers a compelling alternative. A region rich in history and natural beauty that aligns surprisingly well with the mythical descriptions. The sheer diversity of the landscape, its ancient civilizations, and the symbolic weight of its rivers all contribute to making Anatolia a serious contender in the search for the lost paradise. Now, imagine shifting your focus even further east. Forget the Mesopotamian plains and the Anatolian highlands. Picture this: towering peaks, glaciers carving through valleys, and rivers surging down their slopes, the Caucasus Mountains. This majestic range, straddling the border between Europe and Asia, has been suggested as another possible location for the Garden of Eden. Think about it, the sheer scale of these mountains, the abundance of water, and the diverse ecosystems they support could easily have provided the setting for a paradise lost. Some scholars point to the region's rich biodiversity as a compelling argument. The Caucasus is a biodiversity hotspot, a treasure trove of unique plant and animal life. This incredible variety could have easily fueled the myth of an earthly paradise overflowing with fruits and creatures unknown elsewhere. The region's diverse climate, ranging from subtropical to alpine, could also explain the descriptions of varied landscapes found in the Eden narrative. You can almost picture the idyllic scenes described in scripture. However, the Caucasus theory also faces challenges. Pinpointing a precise location within such a vast and geographically diverse region is incredibly difficult. Moreover, archaeological evidence directly linking the Caucasus to the Eden narrative remains elusive. Despite these hurdles, the sheer beauty and ecological richness of the region continue to fuel speculation, offering a compelling alternative to other proposed locations. The mystery remains, beckoning further investigation. Now, let's journey even further, across vast oceans and into a land steeped in ancient myth and vibrant life, India. You might be surprised to hear that some scholars propose the Indian subcontinent as a potential location for the Garden of Eden. Think of the lush Ganges River Valley, a cradle of civilization, overflowing with life and bursting with biodiversity. Could this fertile landscape, with its ancient rivers and rich vegetation, hold the key to a lost paradise? The Indus Valley Civilization, one of the world's oldest, flourished in this region. Its advanced urban planning and sophisticated irrigation systems point to a society deeply connected to its environment. Some researchers speculate that the advanced agricultural practices and the abundance of resources in this area might align with descriptions of Eden's bounty. Imagine the possibilities: a land overflowing with fruits, grains, and animals, a true earthly paradise. Of course, these are just theories, and the evidence is far from conclusive. But consider the symbolic significance of the region in Indian mythology. Ancient scriptures often describe idyllic landscapes and gardens of great beauty, echoing some of the themes found in the Eden narrative. By exploring these less trodden paths, we open up new avenues for understanding this enduring mystery, challenging our preconceived notions of where paradise might have been located. But let's shift gears. Imagine stepping into a time machine and witnessing how the Eden myth has been depicted across centuries. You'll see how artists and writers have interpreted this powerful story, each adding their own unique brushstrokes to the canvas of imagination. From ancient Mesopotamian cylinder seals, depicting lush gardens, to the vibrant frescoes of the Renaissance, Eden's visual representation has evolved dramatically. Think about the medieval illuminated manuscripts, where Eden is often portrayed as a walled paradise, a safe haven filled with symbolic flora and fauna. You'll find depictions of the Tree of Knowledge, often laden with tempting fruit, and the serpent, a cunning figure weaving its way into the narrative. These images, painstakingly created, offer a glimpse into the cultural understanding of Eden during that era. Fast forward to the Renaissance and beyond, and you'll encounter a new wave of artistic interpretations. Artists like Michelangelo and Dürer, influenced by classical and biblical texts, presented Eden in ways that reflected the cultural shifts of their time. Suddenly, the focus broadened, incorporating elements of classical mythology and humanism into the narrative. Eden became more than just a garden. It became a symbol of humanity's potential and its fall from grace. Now, picture this. You're transported to the medieval period. Imagine the Garden of Eden as artists of that era envisioned it, a place of exquisite, if somewhat stylized beauty. Think lush, vibrant colors, meticulously detailed plants, and animals arranged in a harmonious, almost symbolic way. It's a world where God's creation is presented as an ordered and beautiful reflection of His divine power, a far cry from the more naturalistic depictions that would come later. Fast forward to the Renaissance. You'll see a shift towards a more realistic representation of the natural world. While the symbolic elements remain, the landscapes become richer, more detailed, and more accurately reflect the observable world around the artist. Think of the grandeur of the Italian countryside, but infused with the mystical aura of paradise. Adam and Eve, too, become more human, their expressions more nuanced, their forms more naturalistic. You'll start to see the influence of classical art in the depiction of the human form. These artistic interpretations aren't just pretty pictures. They offer a fascinating window into how different cultures and periods understood the Garden of Eden myth. The evolution of artistic styles reflects a changing worldview, a shift in how humans perceived their relationship with nature and with God. By studying these images, you can gain a deeper appreciation for the enduring power and evolving meaning of this ancient story. But the story of Eden didn't end in the Renaissance. Imagine yourself flipping through the pages of John Milton's Paradise Lost. You're suddenly immersed in a world of epic proportions, where the fall from grace is not just a simple tale, but a complex exploration of free will, temptation, and the consequences of disobedience. Milton's masterpiece breathed new life into the Eden myth, making it relevant to a new audience and sparking countless interpretations. Think about it. How many times have you encountered echoes of Eden in literature? From romantic poems celebrating lost innocence, to dystopian novels warning against the dangers of unchecked power, the Garden of Eden serves as a powerful metaphor. It's a symbol of perfection lost, a reminder of what we might have been, and a constant source of inspiration for artists and writers alike. It's a story that continues to resonate with us. And beyond Milton, countless other authors have revisited the Eden narrative, each offering their unique perspective. Some focus on the temptation, others on the consequences, and still others on the enduring hope for redemption. You'll find elements of the Eden myth woven into stories across genres and cultures, a testament to its enduring power and the timeless questions it raises about humanity's relationship with nature and itself. The search for Eden continues, not just geographically, but within the human soul. So you're now face to face with the infamous Tree of Knowledge. What does that forbidden fruit really symbolize? Many scholars believe it represents the acquisition of knowledge beyond the limits set by a divine authority. It's not just about eating an apple, it's about the inherent human desire to understand, to question, to push boundaries. Think about it. The knowledge gained wasn't inherently evil, but the act of defying a direct command held profound consequences. The fruit itself could be interpreted as a metaphor for self-awareness. By partaking, Adam and Eve gained knowledge of good and evil, understanding their own mortality and the complexities of their existence. This newfound consciousness brought with it both the ability to reason and the weight of responsibility, ultimately leading to their expulsion from paradise. It's a powerful reflection on the human condition, isn't it? The bittersweet nature of knowledge and the price we pay for it. Some interpretations suggest the forbidden fruit represents the transition from innocence to experience, from a childlike state of unquestioning obedience to a more mature understanding of the world, with its inherent complexities and moral ambiguities. This transition, while crucial for human development, inevitably comes with a loss of the blissful ignorance of paradise. It's a potent symbol of growing up, of accepting the responsibilities that come with knowledge and self-awareness. But let's not forget the serpent, that slithering enigma. It's not just a random creature, it holds a powerful symbolic weight. In many ancient cultures, serpents represented wisdom, healing, and even immortality, symbols often associated with the divine. Think about it, a creature that sheds its skin, constantly renewing itself, a perfect metaphor for rebirth and transformation. But here, in Eden, the serpent takes on a more ambiguous role, doesn't it? The serpent's deception, its tempting whispers, are often interpreted as the allure of forbidden knowledge, the seductive power of transgression. It's a powerful image, the creature that represents both wisdom and temptation, life and death, all rolled into one. You see it as a villain, the instigator of humanity's fall. But some scholars argue for a more nuanced perspective. Perhaps the serpent wasn't purely malicious, but rather a catalyst, a force that challenged the established order. Consider the serpent's connection to the earth, its closeness to the natural world. Maybe it represents a different kind of wisdom, a knowledge born not from divine decree, but from experience, from the sensual understanding of the world around us. This interpretation suggests the forbidden fruit wasn't inherently evil, but rather a symbol of human potential, the capacity for independent thought and action. A risky choice, sure, but one that ultimately shaped humanity's destiny. So, you've got the serpent sorted. But what about those 4 rivers? Genesis describes them flowing out of Eden, each one representing something vital. They aren't just geographical markers. They symbolize life's sustenance, its flow, and its distribution across the world. Think about it. Water is life, isn't it? These rivers, then, represent the abundance and the life-giving power of the garden. The Pishon, the Gihon, the Tigris, and the Euphrates, each name echoes with ancient power. Scholars have spent centuries trying to pinpoint their exact locations, often linking them to actual rivers in the Near East. Some believe they represent the major waterways of Mesopotamia, while others propose more obscure, symbolic interpretations. But the real mystery for you lies in the symbolism itself. Consider this. The rivers don't just supply water. They define boundaries, create fertile lands, and shape civilizations. In the Eden narrative, they represent the perfect balance, the harmonious flow of life before the fall. They're a reminder that even in paradise, there's a structure, a system, a carefully ordered world, all dependent on the vital flow of these life-giving waters. So we've explored the symbolic rivers, but what about the consequences of that fateful bite? The story of the fall of man isn't just a tale of disobedience. It's about the introduction of morality and suffering into the world. You see, before the apple, there was innocence, a blissful unawareness of good and evil. Afterward, well, that's where things get complicated. The narrative depicts a shift, a profound change in the human condition. Original sin, as it's often called, isn't just about breaking a rule. It's about the shattering of that initial harmony, the introduction of self-awareness, and the knowledge of mortality. Think about it. Suddenly, you're aware of your own vulnerability, your own potential for wrongdoing, and the inevitability of death. This newfound knowledge isn't just intellectual. It's deeply emotional, fundamentally changing your relationship with yourself, with each other, and with the divine. The consequences aren't just internal. They ripple outward, shaping the world around you. The narrative speaks of toil and hardship, of the pain of childbirth, and the struggle for survival. This isn't a punishment in the sense of divine retribution. It's the natural consequence of a fundamental shift in the human condition. The paradise you once knew is lost, replaced by a world where effort, pain, and mortality are inherent parts of existence. But the story doesn't end with expulsion. The narrative of the Garden of Eden, despite its depiction of loss, also whispers of hope. God's promise of redemption, a future restoration, is woven into the very fabric of the tale. Think about it. Even after the fall, God doesn't abandon humanity. He clothes Adam and Eve, demonstrating compassion and a continued concern for their well-being, even in their flawed state. This promise of redemption, this glimmer of hope, is a powerful message. It suggests that despite our mistakes, despite our failings, there's always a chance for renewal, for a return to a state of grace, however transformed. It's a theme that has resonated across cultures and millennia, fueling countless works of art, literature, and philosophy. Consider the symbolism. The very act of God clothing Adam and Eve after their transgression can be interpreted as a gesture of restoration, a covering of shame, and a promise of future protection. It's a subtle yet profound act of grace, a foundational building block for the idea of redemption in many religious and spiritual traditions. So you've heard of Eden, this idyllic paradise. But is it unique? Think about it. The idea of a perfect place, free from suffering and hardship, has captivated humanity for millennia. From the ancient Mesopotamian myths to Plato's Republic, the yearning for utopia echoes across cultures and time. Eden, with its abundance and lack of toil, serves as a powerful archetype, a blueprint for what humans have always unconsciously desired. Consider Plato's ideal city, a society governed by reason and justice. a stark contrast to the chaos and inequality of his own Athens. Or Thomas More's Utopia, an island nation characterized by communal living and economic equality. These visions, while differing in detail, share a fundamental similarity with Eden, the pursuit of a better world, a place where human potential is fully realized and suffering is minimized. They all represent the enduring human dream of escaping the harsh realities of existence. What sets Eden apart, however, is its religious context. It's not just a philosophical construct, it's a sacred space, a divine creation. This religious dimension adds a layer of profound significance, imbuing the longing for paradise with spiritual meaning. It's the promise of a return, a reunification with the divine, that sets Eden's utopian ideal apart from purely secular visions of perfection. It's the ultimate hope, a glimpse of something beyond the temporal realm. So what is it about Eden that still resonates with us today? Why millennia later are we still captivated by the idea of a perfect world? It's not just about escaping hardship, you see. It's a deep-seated human longing for something more, a fundamental yearning for peace, harmony, and abundance. Think about it. The imagery of lush gardens, flowing rivers, and effortless abundance speaks to a primal desire for security and comfort, a life free from the constant struggle for survival. Eden represents a utopian ideal, a place where our deepest desires are fulfilled. It's a powerful symbol of hope, a promise of a better future, free from the anxieties and uncertainties of our everyday lives. This yearning for paradise isn't confined to any one culture or time period. It's a universal human experience, reflected in countless myths, legends, and artistic creations across the globe. It's a reflection of our inherent optimism, our belief in the possibility of a better world. Perhaps the enduring appeal of Eden lies in its ability to tap into our deepest hopes and dreams. It's a reminder that even amidst the struggles and challenges of life, there is always the possibility of finding peace and fulfillment. It's a potent symbol of our enduring faith in the possibility of a better world, a testament to the human spirit's capacity for hope and resilience. It's a story that speaks to the core of what it means to be human, our quest for meaning, purpose, and a life beyond mere survival. So it's deeper than just a longing for comfort, isn't it? Think about Eden's lush description: abundant rivers, flourishing vegetation, a perfect harmony between humanity and nature. This idyllic image speaks directly to our modern anxieties about environmental degradation. You see echoes of Eden in the environmental movement's fight to preserve our planet's biodiversity and natural resources. The story isn't just a fairy tale, it's a powerful metaphor for the delicate balance of our ecosystem. The consequences of disrupting that balance, as depicted by the expulsion from Eden, resonate powerfully with our current ecological crises. The story serves as a timeless warning against the unsustainable exploitation of natural resources. You might not think of it this way, but Eden's narrative highlights the interconnectedness of all living things, a concept central to modern environmentalism. The destruction of one element inevitably impacts the whole, just like the fall from grace impacted humanity's relationship with nature. Consider the symbolism of the garden itself. Its abundance isn't just about material wealth. It represents a sustainable, self-regulating system. It's a reminder that human flourishing is inextricably linked to the health of the environment. The story's enduring appeal lies partly in this timeless message. Our future, like the fate of Eden, depends on our responsible stewardship of the Earth's precious resources. It's a powerful call to action, relevant for all of us today. So, that perfect harmony, what does it tell us about our relationship with nature? Think about it. Eden wasn't just a beautiful place. It was a reflection of humanity's original, untainted connection to the earth. Before the fall, there was no struggle, no exploitation, just a natural, symbiotic existence. You were part of the landscape, not separate from it. The story of the expulsion, then, becomes a metaphor for our separation from that primal innocence. The loss of Eden is the loss of that innate understanding, the fracturing of the bond between humanity and the natural world. It's a narrative that echoes through history, reminding us of the consequences of our actions, of the fragility of this delicate balance. But it's not just a story of loss. It's also a call to action. By understanding the symbolic significance of Eden, you can begin to reconnect with the natural world, to recognize your place within it. It's a reminder that sustainable practices, respect for the environment, and a conscious effort to live in harmony with nature aren't just modern concepts. They're echoes of a deeper, more primal truth. So where's the scientific evidence for Eden? You're probably thinking, digging up a paradise sounds pretty awesome. But the truth is, pinpointing a specific location is incredibly difficult. Geology offers clues, like identifying ancient riverbeds or fertile land suitable for early agriculture. But these are common features across vast regions of the ancient Near East. It's not exactly a smoking gun. Archaeology hasn't unearthed any structures definitively linked to the Garden of Eden either. Think about it. We're talking about a place described in mythology, not a city with easily identifiable architecture. The lack of concrete archaeological evidence doesn't necessarily disprove the story, but it certainly makes it harder to locate geographically. Remember, the narrative is symbolic too. Many locations have been proposed. Mesopotamia, the Persian Gulf, even parts of Turkey, but none offer conclusive proof. The scientific approach requires tangible evidence, and that's where we often fall short. Perhaps the real Eden lies not in a specific place, but in the enduring power of the story itself, reflecting humanity's timeless yearning for a perfect world. What do you think? So you're still wondering about Eden's location, right? The search hasn't stopped. For centuries, explorers, historians, and theologians have pored over ancient texts, analyzing maps and legends, searching for clues hidden in the very words describing this mythical paradise. Some point to Mesopotamia, others to the Caucasus, even to areas in modern-day Turkey. The interpretations vary wildly, making the quest all the more intriguing. The problem is, the biblical description of Eden is surprisingly vague. Rivers flowing in different directions, trees bearing magical fruit. It's a symbolic landscape as much as a geographical one. This ambiguity has fueled countless interpretations, each with its own compelling evidence and potential location. You could spend a lifetime studying the potential sites and still not reach a definitive conclusion. But that's part of the beauty of it, isn't it? The enduring mystery of Eden continues to inspire exploration and debate. Each new discovery, each reinterpretation of ancient texts, pushes us to think more deeply about the meaning of paradise, both literally and metaphorically. So while we may never definitively locate the Garden of Eden, the search itself has revealed a wealth of knowledge about our past and our enduring fascination with the idea of a perfect world. So you've heard about the countless expeditions and theories. But how do modern thinkers interpret this ancient story? Some see Eden as a purely symbolic representation of humanity's primal innocence, a metaphorical paradise lost rather than a literal geographical location. Others focus on the literary and cultural context, viewing the narrative as a reflection of ancient Mesopotamian society and its anxieties about the natural world. For some, the story of Eden speaks to the universal human longing for a perfect world, a timeless archetype that resonates across cultures and religions. Think about it. The desire for a harmonious existence, free from suffering and hardship, is something we all share, regardless of our beliefs. This perspective emphasizes the enduring power of the myth to inspire hope and reflection. Then there are those who integrate the Eden narrative into broader ecological discussions. They see the expulsion from Eden as a metaphor for humanity's destructive relationship with the environment, a cautionary tale about the consequences of our actions. This interpretation has gained significant traction in recent years, particularly within environmental and eco-theological circles. You might find yourself pondering the parallels between the fallen state of nature and the current environmental crisis. Let's clear up some common misunderstandings about Eden, shall we? First, it wasn't necessarily a literal place. Many scholars believe the story is an allegory, a powerful metaphor for humanity's relationship with nature and God. Think of it less as a geographical location and more as a state of being, a reflection of our spiritual journey. Another misconception is that Eden represents a time of complete, unblemished perfection. The narrative actually portrays a complex relationship between humans and their environment, highlighting choices and consequences. The expulsion from Eden isn't just about disobedience. It's about the complexities of growing up and understanding the world. Finally, you might think there's only one interpretation, but the beauty of the Eden narrative is its open-endedness. Different cultures and faiths have interpreted it in diverse ways, enriching the story with layers of meaning. There's no single correct interpretation. Instead, it's a story that invites you to explore its complexities and draw your own conclusions. So, what have we learned? The Garden of Eden, as a literal place, remains elusive. But its enduring power lies not in its geographical location, but in its symbolic resonance. It's a story that speaks to our deepest hopes and fears, the longing for paradise, the consequences of disobedience, and the enduring search for meaning. The myth of Eden continues to inspire art, literature, and religious thought across cultures and millennia. It's a testament to the human desire for a perfect world, a world free from suffering and strife. Whether you see it as a literal place or a powerful metaphor, the story's impact on human imagination is undeniable. Ultimately, the search for Eden is a search for ourselves, for our place in the world, and for a deeper understanding of our own humanity. It's a journey that continues, a quest that resonates through the ages, reminding us of the enduring power of myth and the human longing for something more. So you've journeyed with me through the myths, the theories, the possible locations, but the search for Eden doesn't end here. It's a conversation, a puzzle with pieces scattered across millennia. What are your thoughts? Do you believe the Garden of Eden was a real place, a metaphorical concept, or something else entirely? I'd love to hear your perspectives in the comments below. Let's discuss. Your research can go further. Dive deeper into the Sumerian myths of Dilmun, explore the interpretations of biblical scholars, or even delve into the geographical evidence proposed by various expeditions. Each approach reveals a different facet of this captivating story. What other ancient texts or cultural narratives might offer clues? Share your findings. Remember, the beauty of this enduring narrative lies in its mystery. There's no single definitive answer. The Garden of Eden continues to spark debate and inspire exploration. So, what questions do you still have? What are your own theories? Let's continue the conversation in the comments. I'm eager to hear your insights and perspectives. So, did Eden exist? That's a question we'll continue to ponder. If you enjoyed this journey through history and myth, give this video a like and subscribe for more explorations. What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments.